Hi everyone, today's another hot mess that I've got going on here. This was all in this baggie. It's been sitting in the pile of stuff. I had started to make some tags with lace and fabric on them, and I had put all this stuff in there and wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. I had all these fabric scraps and I figured, well, today's a good day to work on them. So I've started to work on them, and then I remembered, well, maybe I should turn the camera on. I'm making these these lovely little girls. And yeah, they're just decorated with, the old dunce cap idea and some labels and more lace trims and stuff. I don't think this was the original plan, but this is what came out today. So to do that, I'm using the tags that I've already pre-covered. And so I'm just giving you a quick little how I do these things. And I'm just trimming out the little girl. Sometimes I don't like to trim them out, but sometimes I do. And in this case, I'm trimming them quite close to the image so that it's not all this background. And so she's going to sit there. But before I put her down, I've got some, this is part of a scarf, I think, at one time, a silk scarf. And I just had cut up a piece. I had some kind of plan, but I don't remember what it was. But then I just figured, you know what? I'm going to turn them into little mischievous girls. So I'm just going to trim that down a bit and take off this seam edge here because I like it to be a little bit on the rough side. And I am using my hot glue gun to glue some of this down. This has all been sewn down prior to this, and a couple of staples in there as well to staple the fabric on. I think I was covering a tag or something at one time. So I'm just, not a tag, playing card is underneath here, I think. So I'm just laying this down on top. And I'm going to ink around her. So this is what I'm doing until they're all gone, and then I will keep going with whatever's in here. I have some pieces that I had cut out of printables that I was going to play with in 2 different sizes. I also have some tickets that I had coffee stained. There's a big, huge stack of paper here, so I don't know what's going to happen with this afterwards. I also have quite a bit of this fabric left, so I think I'll just finish with these tags that are made and then see what I can come up with the rest. But this is one of those cmego type videos. I think I'll put her there. That's about a good spot for her. And so to make my dunce hats, or mischievous little girl hats, I have it's about a 3-inch by a 2-inch piece of paper, and I'm just cutting them up into thirds and just using it until it's gone. I don't care about the color. And then starting in the middle of the piece, I'm just angling it down, sort of rounding it a little bit as I go, just to make it a little bit fatter of a hat. And then I see how it fits on her head. So I'm going to take this top part off because we don't really need it underneath because there's going to be a flower up there. And then just inking the edges. So it's just a fun little way to decorate and use up some images and use up some stuff that's been lying around. Okay, and then I think she'll have a green flower, because that'll stand out nicer. So I'll put the flower up there. Just using my hot glue gun to add it on. And then I've got some of this crochet doily. I'm just slowly cutting it up. So whatever fits. In that case, I'm going to use that a little bit. I don't worry if it frays or... I don't need it right up to her, so I'm not going to put it right up to the top because I'm putting a label on there. And then I just had some labels. It can be any kind of label. It's just what I had in this bag that I'm using. So it's whatever's here, that's what I get to work with. This way I'm not running around looking for stuff. And you know, sometimes I start things or I have an idea and I start putting things together for it, and then it just goes into a bag and I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. And then I forget about it and I come back a little later and go, oh, what was this supposed to be for? I was saving these for something. And there she is. So she's ready to go. She doesn't look too happy. And then I take a next one and go on and do the same thing. And I know it's, you know, it's repetitious, but it's kind of part of my arm's length art idea. Now she's got a big hat on. I'm just going to take the hat off because it's not about so much of this background as it is because I'm going to put a hat on her. And it's just about using this stuff up as I sit and play with it. Okay, so she also gets an orange hat because that's what I have started. This way I don't have little bits of waste when I'm trying to match, if I'm trying to match colors. I want the hat to be noticeable anyway, so I don't necessarily want it to match. And I like to put them on sort of on a slant when I'm doing them. So I'm going to take the top of that off. And these were just scrap pieces that I had lying around that ended up in this bag. Again, I don't know what the plan was. Maybe I was going to make artist trading cards at one time and then finish off these tags. I really don't know. Oh yeah, we wanted some of this pink gauzy stuff. And you can see there's no rhyme or reason to how I just chop off a piece. These are not the greatest scissors. They're only good for paper. I just chop off however it comes. So I'm just going to run a little bit of glue down here. Yeah, I don't remember this. I'll show you the tag. For some reason, I stapled these two pieces down, and I don't know why, but they're overlapping. I was going to do something, but I don't have a clue what. Okay, positioning her a little bit lower on this, adding my glue. And you can do this with your white glue too. I just like the fast adhering, and I also like it to be a little bit raised, just to give you a little bit more dimension on the piece. And then her hat's going to go there, but I got to ink this. I didn't ink it today. Just to get rid of the white edges, really, is all I'm doing. And again, a little bit more glue. She looks a little bit like a Shriner. And I'm going to give her a green flower. And I will clean off all of my glue strands a little bit later, but for now I'm just getting them put together. This is how I like to work and get things done. So some of these will end up in my Happy Mail because they don't really have a home in any of my journals that I'm working on. So I will just add them into Happy Mail as little handmade gifty things. And another label. And I like to trim my labels so that they have kind of that angled corners, or cutting off the nubs, as I always say. Oh, things are... The one thing about working with glue is that everything's, you know, it becomes very stringy and everything is hanging off of these strings. So eventually I have to get out a hairdryer and just melt all that glue away from everything. And a label on her. And she is done. Like I said, I will move away the glue strands after. Not nearly as miserable looking as the other one. But this is how I like to do things. So you can see how many I have here. This is just a little tidbit of a video to show you. I will turn off the camera and I will continue playing until I do the next step here of whatever's on this desk, till this is all gone. But I still have a handful more yet of these to do. So as soon as those are done, I will move on to the next thing. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, and I'm back. So I finished my little girls. I added this little flower. Yeah, I had to get off my desk or off my chair and go get them. And then I did add the little rhinestone. I have a jar of those on my desk. So the rhinestone is in the center of the flower. And then this, I just kind of, some I matched, some I did opposite. But I got all of them done. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. So all of these now will go into my Happy Mail stash, and maybe if you send me some Happy Mail, you might get one of these back in return. So that's what they're going to be used for, because I don't have anything in my journal stash that I'm working on that I need these kind of colors right now. So you know, maybe 1 or 2, but that's at best. And so that's what these go for. I don't want to hang on to that kind of stuff when I can put it in my Happy Mail. So the next thing I'm starting is I have some book pages, and I have this, this was within reach. I have this coffee stained fabric. It's not the nicest fabric, so I figured I would use that as part of a base. I've attached it to book pages, and then there's a piece of this pink lace underneath there. And I have a huge stash of these flowers. Where are they? Here they are, cut out. So I'm just going to ink the edges of them as I did on this one and add a label. So then my plan was, I have a bunch of these in a pile that I had pre-cut for something, and so I'm going to probably put them on the onto here. And I don't know if I'll glue or stitch at this point. Probably stitch. And then I was thinking this piece of fabric underneath, just to bring it all together. It's a little bit big, but. And then I will put this down to a tag, or leave it sitting like this, sort of as a cluster. This is handmade paper, this red with the gold, and I have quite a stack of it. So I figured, well, if I make these up and just have them stitched together, and then I can decide if I want to use it for a tag or if I want to use it as an element on a page, something. So I'm just kind of putting them together. Now I did put this label here. I might move it around as I go along, or maybe I could tuck this under here somehow so it's a little less, so you don't see as much of that extra layer there. Yeah, I wish I would have moved that down, but this is the first one, so I will play around with it a little bit more and see what I come up with. But that's my next stage, but that's only going to get this used up and a little bit of this fabric, so we'll see what happens. It could be a long day today. That's it for now. I'll come back when I have more to show you. And I'm back. Okay, so you saw my tags that I finished. There's 14 of them. And then all I've done is I've matched everything up here, but these are going to be, they're going to go onto tags. I'm going to stitch all this together, and it'll be like a tag topper. So I've got about, I think, 16 of these made up. So they have everything ready to go. I just have to stitch them all down. So that I'll do off camera. And then I made a bunch of these clusters, and that used up those small images of ladies and roses that were in the pile. They had clips on them. I don't know if you remember seeing them in the video, but you can go back and have a look. So I have quite a stack of these that will be all clusters. I just have to glue them all down and then do some stitching, or stitch and just leave it as it is. These ones still need a little bit of work, but they're all matched up with papers. So now I'll just get out some more book pages and match them up together with something to make clusters out of these. And then these clusters are with some of that fabric scraps that I had here. And they are just made with the little music sheet and some of this matching fabric, which is such a perfect match. They will have a little label on it of some kind. I'm not sure at this point which one, but you know, something like that, or maybe like this. But I'll wait until they're all stitched and then cut out some labels for them. And there's quite a stack here. I think there's about 20 of them here. And so this is what I have left over. I have some of those tickets because the tickets are all hidden at the back here. I don't really like them, even though I've coffee stained them. So I've just used them as a base to attach onto, and I'm leaving this little piece of fabric hanging until I decide what I want to do, if I want to do something. Like I said, I will put a label on there, but I may just leave it as it is long. And but so that's what I have left of the tickets. These will just go into my label stash. This is what I have left over of the scrapbook paper, so that will go into my scrapbook pile, although, you know, the point was to get rid of everything, but those two are no problem. And then I have these pieces of fabric left. There isn't that much. I may still go back and use some of this on these ones that aren't decorated much yet. I'll see. If not, it'll just go into my fabric stash. I use fabric all the time. I didn't use any of these big flowers. Used all the little ones up to make my dunce hats. You know, all the little ones got used, but these ones I didn't. So I will just stick them in my floral bucket and then use them, or, you know, use them in clusters or something as I go along. There's still some possibilities here. I just haven't given it much thought at this point, so I will leave all that together. And then I have a handful of buttons. So yeah, maybe I will get some clusters made yet with this. It all depends on how long it takes me to do all the rest of that stuff. But yeah, I could see maybe doing some floral stuff with some of the background fabrics and things. So I'm still not sure, but this was my day, and I think I made a really good dent in all of this. I hope you can see everything right up to there. Yeah. So that you can see my process and thought process. It'll take me a couple of hours to sew all of this, but that will be at a later time, like maybe tomorrow or something. I'm not sure, but at least they're ready to go, and I won't start anything until I can get this off my table. The fun part is that I got all of these made up, and they are going into my stash of Happy Mail. So who knows, you may get one of these in the mail. I'm not sure. I haven't quite decided yet, but some of them I will keep maybe about 4 or 5 for journals, and then the rest I will move on by giving them away or selling them or something. Oh, there's another stray button. So that's just to show you again how I work and how things get done around here, and all of this will get put away somewhere and it'll be done. And that big bag, that plastic bag, I will be officially able to say it is empty and can be used for something else and get one more thing off my desk. Did it make a dent in anything? Really? No. But that's okay. It's all part of the process, right? So I hope you enjoyed this. It's just a little fill-in video for whenever I have some, you know, downtime. So you may see it right away. You may see it a couple weeks down the road. I don't know. I wish you all a very creative day and a creative week, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.